Hello. The game has started and my opponent has opened with Bandit. I have a pretty balanced rack and I have the Z for score. So just looking at words ending in I-Z-E, politicize, that's slightly longer than 8 letters. Looking at Zin, I just cannot see a 7 or an 8. So I might just go with Zin for 32. Not a good pickup. I draw a couple of the clunky W. I did have the P and the C. So I shan't be bingoing this turn. Cowp is good, C-O-W-P. Zin takes an E, as well as a G, as well as a C-O. But I won't be doing that because the rack leave needs to be better. Blown maybe. 20. Not great. I need to be scoring in the mid-20s, I'd say. Opponent taking some time with this move. Opponents played main. I don't have a B for Zeneb, but I do have an E for E-Zine. I could play Clue. It gets rid of 2 of the clunky consonants. And yeah, I think I'll go with this. Not great. Duplicate the N. And if opponent has an S, he'd be scoring fairly well from H1 down. 4 S's and 2 blanks to come. I have the non-prefix. I have pond. Not a bad rack leave, 26. The I, a useful floater. has exchanged. I'll go with pond. And I draw a fairly good rack. Duplicate A makes it a little bit tricky with the Y, but opponent has bingoed and takes the lead. I have yarns. I can't get the Y doubled, I don't think. But is there definitely no bingo? It looks like there might be a bingo here, actually. Not seeing it anyway, so I'm gonna go with yarns and clues. 37, not a bad pickup. Moraine through an I or an M. I've taken a 1 point lead. That won't last for long. Now what about a bingo ending in Y? Not seeing it. Residue takes an S. Opponent scores well with the X. Now reasoner, someone who reasons, but that would stop one square short of the double word. That seems foolish. What about the I? Ironware. I draw some scoring tiles and a few vowels, so that's pretty good. Egypt jumps out as a possible play. HE for 28 wouldn't be bad, or even hem for 31. My H plays handily. Ooh, opponent bingos there. And I can't play across the top of the G. Don't have a suitable vowel. I might take out this hotspot. This I could be a Q or a... it's not that dangerous, but the X is gone. Let's see what meh scores. 35. Yeah, that's not bad. Unless there's a J hotspot I've overlooked. Well, the J plays nicely there, but I just don't have a U or an A to go across the top of the G. I'm going with meh for 35. Not bad. I draw the second blank. Jowliest through an L or an S. W, not a great floater for bingos. Jow, where does jow play? Because that would be a pretty handy 4-letter leave. I guess jow's pretty mediocre, but it does sort the rack out and puts me in a position to bingo next turn, provided I don't draw 3 U's or 2 U's. Jow and Wame. That's a good way of getting rid of the J. Now Patuti through an A or another T. Patuti, that would be a 5-vowel 8. Now there's an IER ending option here as well. So what would this look like? Troupier? No. That's a shame, not seeing an IER ending. Opponent bingos again and takes the lead. Option E onto an E, no E available. That's a shame. What about this R? Option A. No. Option E is good, but not option A. Thought I'd give it a try. Ed takes a H as well. Don't see a bingo with the blank as a H. Hoop tie, no. Isotope, yes, that works. 74. I draw the Q, but actually it does play through the U quite handily, so quag for 28. Hopefully that remains available. Cat as a second best option for 23. So I am getting rid of the Q. Just have a little slender 23-point lead. So 10 to hooks at the moment. 2 F's, a Y and a H. So definitely some scoring potential there. Ray takes an F as well as an S. That could be quite a handy scoring spot. Now a gate, but the idea of hanging on to the Q with 2 O's is not worth entertaining. Lyric, okay, so no Q play with the C. An opponent has taken out my Q play. That's a bit annoying. That's actually really annoying. Because if I don't play here, opponent will get a handy score, no doubt. And he's already got a lead. 8 vowels, 10 consonants, so pretty balanced. There's a little bit of a hot spot here. A handy play, but both Y's are gone, so handy is not going to work. Wow, this Q is just looking at hanging on to the Q maybe. Coty, no. Atok is weak. This is annoying. I just... Cat feels weak. 23. Now opponent will get a decent score through the C. And that's what I was trying to avoid, but anyway, it is what it is. And I'm swamped in vowels, so not looking great. Oh, opponent plays fill there. Now I've got Cogue, which is one way of getting rid of Gorsey. I don't think you can spell I-E, but I think Cogue is pretty decent. But then there's a hot spot here at A across, K1 across. That could be damaging. What do I do? Cogue. I think I'll go with Cogue. I draw more vowels. And I assume opponent will play in the top right. Vatic from D1 down. What about an AV play? Okay. Has opponent got a play to go out with? Might do. He scored quite heavily there. Now AV what? This could be the difference between winning and losing. Don't think Phil takes an I. Philly. I think Vatic. Does this give my opponent an outplay? Gerah, Gerah. So I can't do Vatic, unfortunately. What about voice? It doesn't score enough. Voice 20. A play through the O. That gives me 20. That only draws me level. Then opponent gets a decent H play. And I don't have much to respond with. What about, I was going to say view, V-I-E-W, but I-R no good. And I can't get the V to play twice anyway, because that's not going to work. Wow. Fill, does it take an E? I don't think it does, yeah. Filler. And filler's definitely no good. That would have been nice. Down to a minute. What about a play onto the R? What about Viator? Takes a front hook. Viator 20. Still not a great score. And I just don't think IE is going to score enough to win. Come on. just have a look here. AV8 doesn't work. I'm gonna go with voice, and then Vita or rate 8, but Vita looks like the play. I've only got 6 seconds. I've got to be really quick. I might as well get it down if opponent... Vita. Wow. That was close. 2 points I lost by. I just couldn't see a higher scoring play. I didn't realize, Phil takes an E. I might have been able to win. That was a shame. 1 sec. Right, let's see what we missed. 2 points. That was close. Back to the beginning. And opponent had Bandit for 24. That looks fine. Zinco for 38. Yeah, possibly getting rid of the C and the O as well. Zin... Yeah, I think Zinco probably best. Opponent's got Fame, Mavens goes with Main, and then Clue for 32 looks fine, but Plu slightly better because of the rack leave. So not much in that one. Opponent exchanges, then Pond for 26 best. Residue, opponent bingos, could have got an extra 13 points at 11C. Residue, wow, nice underlap. He went with it in that spot. And now arrays, there was a play with the Y doubled. I kind of looked at the rack and thought there'd be something there. Yeah, arrays can be spelt with an I or a Y. I forgot that. So that was a big miss, I'd say. Yon's 37. Not a huge miss, but a miss nonetheless. Anatexas. Wow. Nice bingo. Opponent doesn't spot it. Anatexas. And then I've got Ironware for 71, Serrano and Foran for 72. K9. Getting a bit of a parallel play going on there. Serrano leaving an O in the trip lane. So not a great fan of that one. Now a dream rack for opponent. Saginite for 80. And I've got May for 35, Jet for 37. Where was that? G13. Ah, yes. Didn't even look there. I was looking down in the left corner and was crying about not having the right vowel to play across the top of the G, but I think jet here would have been a great play with a good rack leave. So that was a miss. And then opponent's got Borks for 51, 11A. That's a big score. Look at that for a parallel play. Borks and Bank and Ands. He goes with Cab, and now Jow for 50 was best. Opponent had another bingo, a Volst, and now he's taken a decisive lead. Isotope comes down for 74. Rupiest from the R down the bottom, but Isotope better. And then Lyric for 26 was best from this one. Cagot. That's not bad, actually. 2 U's to come, so that would have been, I wouldn't mind, and 3 I's, so not terrible to hang on to the Q at that stage. But I really did want to get rid of it. Cagot, yeah. Maybe Cagot would have been the way to go. And then Wood, putting my 2 O's between the W and the D, making Zo. That's quite nice as well. Wood for 23. I went with Cat for 23, and then opponent's got Phil for 25, and we're neck and neck at this stage. He goes with Phil, and then I've got this rack. Kogue looks fine. Guaco also good for 24. Now opponent's got Tofu for 39, and this is where he takes the advantage. Vatic I did spot, but I noticed that it gave my opponent Gerah, Gerah, so Vatic is a losing play, even though it ranks as best on the analysis board. Just looking at the other options, 14J. I wonder about vote here. Then the opponent plays voter. But vote is how much? 23. So it gives me a 3-point lead. And then if opponent plays RE, problem is vote leaves me with AII. I'm not going out with that. So opponent has the advantage. What about VIA for 23? VIA, because that doesn't take an R. And OTIC to go out. If opponent blocks that, VIA, IOT, fillet. Oh, but there's no TOI or TIO. I'm just wondering. VIA looks like it could have been the way to go, because opponent had a decent score down there at the bottom. Otic, and is there another? Oh, and Tyro I think's good. So that might have been an option. VIA I think it was a good option, yeah. I like VIA. Maybe that would have been winning. I went with voice. Now opponent's got her and Ray for the best possible scores in terms of count back, assuming I'm going out first. So if I block her and Ray, there's actually no other great plays. 19 leaving GR. I think VIA might have won it for me, Because voice was 20 and VA was actually, yeah, VA was 23, plus I had Otic or Tyro, yeah. So I think VA would have won it. But anyway, I went with, oh, look at that, 15k, 8. Oh, AIT for 19. And because I was under a 6-point time pressure, I didn't even contemplate, well, I had to just kind of whack it down. But that shows you how important it is to manage the time, because 8 is a word I know, fillet an everyday word, and HI. So if I had time, I would have definitely scanned the board backwards and I would have found that play. So there you go. Lost on account of time pressure. Anyway, there you go. That was the end of the game and 2 points in it. Hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.